What's going on, guys? This is Martyrs Brigade 99 coming to you once again with another session of Dark Souls PvP. Alright guys, we're back at it for another series, and basically this is going to be a two-part series called Prowling the Ruins. Now here's a little change of environment, and also is a little change of pace with regard to soul level, because if you guys just notice, I am level 67. Now, one thing that you guys are going to see a little later on with regard to my uploads is I created, and actually let me take that back. My intention was to create a pyro lioness actually, because this is a female, a pyro lioness build, meaning a Leo ring build that also casted pyromancies. Right, so this is me kind of going through the process of creating that build. Now, one thing that I used to do before I learned about the bottomless box and the dragon head fast leveling glitch that obviously no longer works, one thing that I used to always do, I would hurry up and get to this area right here. Right, and basically this would be one of the areas that I would basically just do a lot of invasions to level. Now, why would I do that? One thing that you would notice if you do a lot of PvP, if you stay in one area long enough, in most cases you will get lucky enough to fight a higher level player, and if you can beat that player, in a lot of cases it is very easy for you to earn 500,000 plus souls. And if you guys notice right there, I have 1.5 million because I was fortunate enough that even though I'm only at level 67, I beat a player that awarded me like 877,000 souls. So I was definitely good with that regard. Now, as far as this pyro lioness build that I intended to create, guess what, guys? I end up changing my mind with regards to that build, and actually I changed my mind twice. And the reason why I changed my mind twice was, I don't know. I was just kind of sitting there and I'm like, you know what? Am I really going to do a pyro build? I don't really use a lot of pyromancies. And another thing, I wanted to kind of incorporate a weapon that I almost never see anyone use. Right, so a little later on I decided to do a catch pole build, right, a build that would use the catch pole. And actually I think the last few matches of this video will feature me kind of leveling up to the point to where I was able to wield the catch pole. But guess what, guys? That catch pole sucks. I really didn't like it. Right, so I end up getting rid of that. Now, shout out to this guy, right? Not because I know him, not because he really did anything in particular, but after facing this particular build, I wanted to create an Armor of Thorns build. But guess what, guys? It is easy to do an Armor of Thorns build, but to create the build in the way that I wanted to make it, it was just almost impossible for me to keep it within the 120 to 130 standard. Mainly because the way I wanted to do it was to have a pure Thorns build. Just like this guy. Use the Avalon in the left hand and the barbed straight sword, which is a thrust weapon. Hint, hint. Right? So I wanted to do a fast rolling Leo build with the barbed straight sword, because I think the R2s are the thrusting attacks. But see, the thing is, the best way that I was able to create the build, I think I only would have had like 1,500 vitality, and that kind of sucks because I would say 99% of my builds all have 45 in vitality, which with the Ring of Favor and Protection will award you with 1,700. As a matter of fact, all my builds, I don't have any build that goes over 45 in vitality. Now, I know a lot of guys, they kind of go and they, invest 50 in vitality. But here's why I never, at least until recently, Here's why I do not invest 50 in Vitality. Just think about this, guys. Okay, from 45 to 50 will only get you a difference of 100 health points. 100. So let's look at what 100 only gets you, right? I think 100 might be, depending upon your stats, one-handed dagger swing, right? 100 vitality is not going to save you from a rapier. It's definitely not going to save you from a straight sword, nor anything stronger than those weapons. It's not going to save you from a pyrocast. It's not going to save you from a Wrath of the Gods or anything else. So in other words, going from 45 to 50, in my personal opinion, was just a waste of soul levels. So it was only at that point, right, where I kind of really sat there and said, okay, now what does that really mean practically speaking? It's only 100 health points for 5 soul levels, for which those 5 soul levels could mean a secondary weapon, right? It could mean, if I have an intelligence build, a build that, stronger intelligence or stronger faith. So this is why, in the brigade, we basically cap all of our builds at 1700 vitality, which with the ring of favor and protection is 45 in vitality, and without the ring of favor and protection is 73. Now, I make it a point to note that 73 without the ring of favor and protection, because I have one build, right, with 73 in vitality. And basically you guys are going to see it sometime soon, because I'm going to be uploading a 3-part forest hunting series. And actually I can't even really say forest hunting, because one of the videos out of the 3 parts will feature me as a forest hunter. And the other 2 parts of the forest video will be me as a dark wraith, basically just invading the forest. Now, for a lot of you honor dudes out there, let me tell you guys something, dudes. When I do random invasions, I play as a random invasion. I know a lot of you guys from reading the comments, you guys have this idea that in all cases, at all times, you're supposed to play with this kind of, upright code, this kind of upright, self-righteous play style. I don't do that, guys, right? I play a certain way when I'm in a fight club, or when I'm playing against people that I know, right? Or I'm doing quote-unquote formal PvP, which in most cases is when I am summoning through a red summon sign. But when I am not doing quote-unquote formal PvP, I'm playing to kill, right? And actually, I was about to say play to win, but I don't really play to win, mainly because, the vast majority of the time I'm not using a Hornet Ring. I am not using optimized equipment. I'm not using optimized anything, because you guys just take a look at my build. I'm using a Balder Sidesword, and I'm at level 67, right? So I don't even have that much in dexterity, but I'm using a plus 15 Balder Sidesword, and looking at my equipment, right? A Witch's Robe, or whatever it's called, which has low defense. A Thief's Mask, which has low defense. I have the Iron Gauntlets, and I am wearing the Hollow Soldier's waistcloth. Those are low stats, guys. Right? So one thing about me that, even though I play pretty aggressively during invasions, I'm not really in this thing about playing to win. And let me tell you why. A lot of times when you play to win, and let me define what I mean by play to win. I mean, you're in one of those situations where you're trying to optimize everything, right? Kind of like you just hitting a power within plus red tearstone ring plus, that whole combo. Now, I'm not playing that way. And the reason why I do that is because I want to improve my overall tactics. Now, someone may say, dude, you can definitely improve your overall tactics by playing that way. Well, I mean, some people will, but I don't really think I can. Mainly because when you play with one of those builds that basically one-shot people, right? There's really no skill that you need to improve. You just need to, place yourself in a situation where, you can basically one-shot and kill them. Right? In other words, shout out to good old Yukis Legion. He's one of those Twitch bro hotshots. He has this build. I'm pretty sure that a lot of you guys who know Yukis, he has basically a one-shot, one-kill build. Right? And his hookup is kind of like, I think he's got like 50 in faith. He uses the red tearstone ring, right? And he uses the power within combo. And when that guy get into red tearstone mode, he can hit you for like 1300. One Wrath of Gods for like 1300. Now, that's his one-shot, one-kill build. Granted, now, Yukis, I've seen him play on a number of occasions, and I think I've played him once or twice on PC. And he definitely, has skill with regard to PvP. But when he's using his one-shot, one-kill build, he's doing it to kill people, right? Because in most cases, he's fighting gankers. So this, in my opinion, is the difference between playing to win, for which a one-shot, one-kill build will definitely get you a win, and playing to get better, right? So this is why I'm not using any optimized equipment. I'm not using no super strong, I don't need a Hornet ring. I'm not doing any of that because I want to improve my tactics. And like I said before, I'm not saying that, people who play that way do not improve their tactics. I'm talking about myself, right? Because I know a lot of you guys are kind of looking for something to say that I'm saying wrong or I'm being mean to somebody or something like that. All right, so we're back at it. And we're going to kind of tighten him up with the Estus. You guys notice I'm hitting BS's for 400 damage. Right, that's definitely not a threat. Alright, so let's see, what do we have here? Now, one thing that I always note when I invade here in the ruins, I always look over here and actually he was right behind me. Now this guy right here is definitely a higher level, right? And I think he's one of the guys that have helped me to get a lot of souls, right? And I think actually, I won't say I think, I don't know, I'm not really sure. We'll see, if I'm able to defeat him. But I think I get a good number of souls by fighting this guy. Let's hopefully. Come on. Come on, dude. Take that swag sword. Because I know I fought him, I think like once or twice before. And actually, I fought him in the very beginning. Right? And he kept hitting me with the pursuers and I hate when guys, now that's one move that I hate when I lose by, where somebody's just well, that hurts. That's one of those tactics that I hate to die by. One of those things where you have a guy who's obviously playing like a noob and they just one-handed a weapon and they're just R1ing that thing like 15 times straight, and for whatever reason you get locked into oblivion and you just die. I hate when I die that way. Right? But it is what it is, right? Because there's videos out there and actually I thought it was a pretty good video, but it has something to do with, I think the point that the guy was saying is that you don't have to be a so-called hotshot to get wins, and that you give it enough time, you definitely will be a winner. And I thought that was an awesome video. I can't really remember the name of that video, because if I did, I would definitely reference it and have you guys take a look at it, right? Because I definitely think that whoever the creator of that video was, that was an awesome video. Alright, so tighten these two dudes up and we're good to go. 27 humanity, so we're good. Alright. Let's see what this guy's gonna do. Looked like he was on the way to going to get the fire ember, the large fire ember. And it looks like he's a strength build. Okay, so we're good to go. And actually, I hate that tactic. Actually, I can't even really say I hate it. I'll put it this way. You know, there's a lot of guys who use that large club. Right? Either the large club or the great club. And the only tactic that they use is the two-handed rolling R1 attack. And I really hate fighting against those guys because basically, if you cannot hit them, right, there's no way for you to basically defend yourself against them. Mainly because, you know, if you can't hit them when they're just kind of standing around, there's no way to block that two-handed rolling R1 attack. And I fought against guys that's kind of all they do. They just chase around, you know, they just chase you around doing the rolling R1 over and over and over and over and over and over again. And if your spacing is not right, you can't counter, you can't do anything. Because, you know, you can't block it, you can't parry it, you can't do anything. So luckily, you know, that guy kind of incorporated some, you know, two-handed R1s and some other type of attacks, because I absolutely hate it when, you know, you face those guys that all they do is the two-handed rolling R1 attack with the club. Alright. Nice parry right there, and I kind of knew that was coming. Alright, so we're good to go. Alright, so here's an invasion where I kind of was not clear where my opponent was, because if you guys can see for yourself, all the weapons, all the enemies were cleared out. Right? So luckily for me, he started to fire arrows at me. Now, this is one of the guys that I think awarded me a lot of soul levels, right? Because I know a lot of times when I'm playing, you know, if you're kind of a level 50 or something like that, and you run into a guy with like a Havel shield or some super heavy armor, you better do whatever you can to kind of beat that guy, because best believe you're going to get a lot of souls. Right? Because think about it, I'm level 67. At level 67, there is no way you have 50 intelligence to be able to cast that white dragon breath, or 50 in strength to be able to carry that Havel shield. Right? So hopefully if I'm able to kill this guy, I will be able to get a lot of souls, and hopefully I don't cut this video off. Maybe we can see how much I'm going to win. Unfortunately, okay, well, I'll cut it off. Well, actually, I won enough souls from that guy to allow me to upgrade a little bit. Okay, so I'm getting destroyed by a freaking R1 spammer. I hate when that happens, right? Especially when they kind of give you those ridiculous gestures and you just thinking to yourself like, come on, dude, you didn't do anything. You yourself did not do anything but continuously depress that R1 button. Your buff did all the work for you. Now, here's where I was kind of experimenting with the catch pole. Right? And it was just absolutely ridiculous, and that's why I kind of changed. I mean, you know, the only good thing about the catch pole, from what I have noticed, you can get some good wake-up R1 attacks in there. Both one-handed and two-handed, I was able to get a lot of good wake-up hits. But, you know, the lack of a good R2 attack, I mean, just kind of makes this weapon poor, in my personal opinion. And in a lot of cases, you know, I don't know if it's because of, you know, it is the weapon basically. Look at this guy. That's all he does. R1 spammer. But like I was saying, I don't know if it's because, you know, it's a physical plus magic that, you know, allows for it to hit for so low damage, but it sucks. when you compare it to, the scythe or, the gargoyle halberd. Wake up hit, you guys notice that? Very good on the wake up hits. Very good. And wake up hits is definitely something that you have to learn timing on. Right? Alright, so he was able to negate that damage. Couldn't hit them with the one-handed R1 attack. Okay, he was an R1 spammer. And like I said before, whenever you can kind of notice someone's tactics, it's kind of easy for you to parry them. For the most part, all he was doing was R1 spamming, so I knew that once I got close enough, all I could do is basically just prepare for the take one hit and parry method. Alright, and he got his... Oh, actually, I'm still in there. Okay, so he hit me with the Wrath of Gods. Whatever, dude. GG. It is what it is. Alright, so we have a guy. Hopefully he won't go through that boss fog gate. Okay, so he want to brave it out. Alright, dude, so let's see what you got. Well, I got a BS for you. That's what I got. Alright. Kind of missed him on the wake up. But he's a R1 spammer. Alright, so I'll give him a nice parry and riposte. And I missed that wake up R1, unfortunately. You guys notice it? Weak hits. But I got him for 10 damage. 10 damage was sufficient to end the match. Alright guys, well this is pretty much it for part 1 of the Prowling the Ruins video. I hope you guys enjoyed the first part of the series. Stay tuned for part 2 where I'm going to be fighting good old Eric, EADM. Alright guys, until next time, Martyrs Brigade is out.